Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in April 2020. Hello, Sagittarius. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, was this the first full week in April, right? So how's everything, Sag? How are you doing? How are you feeling? With this global pandemic going on, a lot of us are still in quarantine, lockdown, having to flatten all the curves and take care of each other as well as take care of ourselves. So to you and yours, I hope everybody is safe and happy and healthy as best as most as possible. Whatever's going on in your life, I hope that it is not too awful or too much to bear. I understand that many of us are feeling the crunch of this. I'm going into my fourth week of being at home, and it's not too bad for me personally, but I know other people who have been at home just about the same amount of time or even longer are really, really feeling this crunch. So again, Sag, if that's affecting you in any type of way, please know that I'm pushing out the most positive vibes and trying to raise the vibration as much as I can as a single individual, okay? So let's get into it, Sag, shall we? I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all of the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp is already in the description box if you want to jump ahead. Information for how to purchase a personal reading is also in the information box down below. Simply follow the steps that are outlined for you there. Let me know what you want. I'll say, okay, cool, and I'll do your video for you. But if you have to do, or if you want to ask a clarifying question before you actually place an order, feel free to email me at the same address you see down there, okay? And a final component to my opening spiel, I am now on Instagram, my friends. I'm doing a daily oracle card pull over there, doing some intuitive interpretations of whatever I'm feeling in the moment and what's aligned with the energy of the card itself. So far, so good. I'm enjoying doing it. I just missed a few days because, I'm a human being and I got other things to do, or sometimes the energy just isn't really vibing and I need a day off. So that is that. But if you are interested in following me, there's a graphic right there. It'll tell you again what that, I didn't even tell you. The name over there is EmpathicFire Tarot. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, again, just look that name up over there, because there isn't like a really good way to link. I think you got to get like one of those like tiny links, and I got to look into that, but I'll find time to do that. But for now, just go on over to Instagram and search for EmpathicFire Tarot, and you will find me that way, okay? All right, everybody, let's get into it. Let's see Sagittarius's outcome for April 2020, please. Outcome for Sagittarius in April 2020, please show me. What? This is very interesting. Okay, not a flip, and no? Okay, thank you. Outcome for Sagittarius in April 2020, please show me. That hurt me. And they say, go ahead. Yeah, okay. So that's interesting. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. There's something about that hurt me and me saying that that might resonate for someone out there. That hurt me. You might be saying that, or someone might be saying that to you, or something thereabouts. But yeah, because it kind of hit me here on the cuticle of my thumb, and it wasn't a nice feeling. But I'm not dying, obviously. Now, please note that all of your other cards came face up, and the only one that came face down is your outcome. So let's look at it now. Okay. If you know anything about tarot, and me seeing that hurt me, that might kind of connect for you. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to bias the reading. Let's just get your starting energy, and we'll see what happens from there, okay? Please show me where Sagittarius is in April 2020. April 2020 for Sagittarius, where are they? Please show me. I can't stop shaking my leg. I don't know what this is about. some of you nervous? We're not even in the reading yet. Please show me the card. Thank you. Okay, we got it. All right. Like a lot is happening like physically with me, and I might have to talk about it in this reading because I've mentioned it in a few others that I've done for you, or for the other zodiacs this month, Sagittarius. But anyway, you guys start the reading with the Two of Pentacles. So, weighing up options, making decisions, feeling caught between a rock and a hard place, or caught between two very opportune moments or opportune situations, or opportunities is another way you could simply say that. You know, a crossroads almost. Sag, you know you have, you know a moment in time is approaching you where something's got to give, something has to move forward, or sort of stay routine, stay stuck, stay stagnant, right? A lot of you know you're at the precipice of a new phase of your life or a new path in your life, potentially. This is all potential, by the way, you know, because the Two of Pentacles and twos in general involve this element of choice, this element of making decisions and following through. And I feel for some of you Sagittariuses, this is a daunting thing. It's not a moment that you're necessarily looking forward to, but the impact of it, or rather the implication, implication, the outcome after, the ripple effect is very on your mind. You know, in some cases, this feels like a make or break it moment, or a make or break it opportunity, offer, position. Could do to, excuse me, God, I can't even talk. And maybe some of you are not able to necessarily get your words out correctly, or you know, maybe you're not making sense of your own thoughts at this moment. But for some of you, this is possibly to do with your finances, your career, whatever way you find stability in your life. It's like, okay, this is not the exact, not purpose, but okay, think of a relay race, right? Like where runners are running down a track and they pass the baton to each other. This is what this feels like. You know your time to receive the baton, to run your part of the race, to contribute to a situation, to contribute to a team, to contribute to the greater whole, whatever it is. Your time to step up. That's more in line with what this is. Step up, Sagittarius, is what they're kind of giving me. Step into your power, step into your knowing, step into your gifts. Okay, very good. Some of you, this is about stepping into your personal gifts, whether that be aligned with something metaphysical or a part of the occult, or some other type of gifts that you have. Maybe you're a very talented singer. Maybe you're a very talented massage therapist. Who knows? You know, it could be anything. But there's this sense of knowing it's your time to step forward and kind of make yourself known, or make your position known, make your desires known, make your ideas known. This Two of Pentacles, if you can, I mean, you can see it. There's a ship in the background on the water, which means that there's this interest in progression. There's this interest in moving forward. There's this interest in possibly traveling or making particular moves, again, possibly related to your money or your career. At the core, however, of what they're giving to me is like, they're like sweats, not sweats like pants, or, you know, what do people in UK call it? I don't remember what you guys call it. But anyway, sweatpants, not sweatpants, but sweats, like you have the sweats, like you're nervous. Before I was like bouncing my leg and I couldn't stop. It did stop, but I was like, why am I feeling that? And I haven't even begun the reading. So there's this, there you go, another way to say it is anxious. There's this anxious anticipatory energy coming from you. And I'm saying you, Sagittarius, please remember, guys, it's a general reading. It could apply to the sign that I'm reading for, or it could go vice versa. It could go towards a cross watcher. So if you know your story and you're sitting cool as a cucumber under quarantine, Sagittarius, and you're not feeling the pressure to do anything at all, keep in mind that this could apply to someone within your energy field or who's very close to you and significant. Now, whoever this is, I will continue to address it as if it is you, Sagittarius, just to keep my mind keep my mind straight here. It's this knowing that the ship, or the cliched phrase is before the train leaves the station, or the ship leaves the dock. There's this chance. God, it feels like a very narrow window of a chance for you to do something, go somewhere, sign up with a person, like sign a contract or make a deal, reach out, something like that. There is just this one shot to do it, and you have to decide whether to follow through or not. The options really are to do it or not do it, is really what this feels like. I mean, in some of your cases, it will be the option of do this or do that, option A, option B, and they're comparable. But I'm really feeling like you either do this or you don't do it. And that's sort of the only option, or not even the only option. That's sort of like the nooks and crannies of the situation. The heart of the situation is to act. You either act or you don't act. You either choose or you don't choose. And a lot is riding on it, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you want to admit, that or not. A lot is riding on this decision for you, Sagittarius. And I think a lot of you are really quaking in your boots, feeling super nervous, super anxious about that moment of time where it's like a proctored exam. It's like the SATs or something. You have this allotted amount of time to make your decision. Once the clock reaches zero on whatever time frame you're existing in, there's no turning back. The window of opportunity will close. The opportunity to partner with someone in business, the opportunity to partner with someone in terms of getting your finances in order, if this is about how to handle your money. The opportunity for the job goes away. The opportunity for the collaboration goes away. The opportunity for the relationship to go away. The opportunity for reconciliation goes away. Whatever it is, it goes away. And you are knowing that moment is approaching, and you're some of you are kind of like, yeah, or I know, and you're just like kind of, it's weird. I think some of you, in your nervousness or your anxiousness in knowing that moment is approaching, you kind of get all clammy, or you become maybe even snarky, like kind of what I was saying a moment ago. Yeah, okay. And I don't know, maybe I don't know how serious this moment in time is, or this opportunity is, the decision you have to make. It's going to be different for everybody. You know what I mean? So you're all going to have different reactions to it. But ultimately, this is a static energy, this Two of Pentacles. Twos are, again, this decision point, and Pentacles equals slow energy. So you are slowly coming to this decision, or this opportunity that's going to be a make it or break it is coming to you slowly. Maybe some of you know a contract has to be signed by midnight on such and such a date. And maybe you've known that for weeks or months, but you've dragged your feet on whether or not to sign the contract, on whether or not to agree to the terms. You see what I mean? So you may have known for a long time, by this day, by this time, get it together, do something or don't do it. And you're going to wait till like 11:59 to make that decision. Maybe that's like a move. Maybe that's a strategic move for you. I don't know. But it feels like in most cases, this has been partially aspected or partially in line with, partially due to procrastination. There you go. Due to procrastination. Interesting. So what else happens? Please show me. All right, so this has been happening. Like, it feels like in many of the readings, like the core energy for the sign I'm reading for is like in one card. And then once I branch out into the rest of the reading, all these other characters and scenarios get introduced into the reading. So it feels like for you, Sagittarius, you have people around you that maybe you're deciding on who to align with or which opportunity embodied by the persons or the people that you're looking at is beneficial for you. You know, because that's the other thing about all the twos is like what happens next. There's this interest in the future. There's this interest in, okay, how do I get out of, okay, that was almost a slip of the tongue. How do I get out of this? Maybe that's what some of you need. Right, okay, you know, coronavirus, the COVID-19 situation. A lot of people are out of jobs. A lot of people are not making as much money as they used to, and they're having to dip into their finances. Some people might be facing foreclosure or evictions. So you might be deciding who or what can come along and help you with your financial moves. What can you do next in terms of securing yourself financially? If you are facing eviction, because that's a reality for some people, which I think is a cold-blooded move on the case of a landlord, but I can't get into it. Anyway, so some of you might have to make an actual decision on where to go. And you know that that date is approaching because your landlord, you know, posted that notice on your front door. Hey, come April 15th, you got to go. And you're like, well, I don't, you know what I mean? And I said that, I think, in one of the generals that I was opening with, Rock in a Hard Place. Now, if you're independent, which I feel, yes, thank you, it's there. Some of you are incredibly independent people, Sagittarius. You live alone, or you've lived on your own since you were like, you know, a teenager, and now you're in your 20s or your 30s, and you don't speak to family, or you're not very close with other people. So you might literally, in some cases, be facing homelessness, okay? I don't take that lightly, and neither should you, or neither should anybody else who's watching this who knows someone in the situation. And it kind of puts you in this mode. If you are estranged from your family or your friends, or, you know, you don't want, whatever the reason, it's kind of like a catch-22 maybe. Do I, you know, pack all my shit together, live in my car for, you know, the next few months that this pandemic is going on, and hopefully after that I can get my job back and all this other kind of stuff? Or do I just go all the way home and live with people that possibly you don't get along with, possibly people that are very toxic and basically not beneficial to your life? Because again, the Two of Pentacles wants to know what's beneficial for me. What is the best move here? Rock in a hard place, you know, and I certainly do not envy someone who's in that position, but that could literally be the case, or something thereabouts. Now, what else happened? Right, so the Strength, thank you, Strength card next door. Major Arcana for Leo. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo, but you don't have to be. I feel as though this could be someone you're dealing with back home, so to speak. Whether that be back home in terms of your home office, back home in terms of your friends or your family, back where you grew up, back home. Maybe you have been estranged from a spouse, some of you, and you're going back home to live with them. Whatever it is, some of you, this is the person who's waiting at home. And I think this person is incredibly intense. I think that this person is incredibly strong-willed. I think that this person has possibly some anger issues, possibly some very biting conversation for you, or when you guys get together, it can be rough in close quarters. It can be rough, yeah. But in other cases, this is not an external person. This is just you looking at yourself and trying to rally, trying to find some wherewithal to face what you're about to face, this decision with the Two of Pentacles, right? You have to really dig deep with this Strength card, or the energy of the Strength card, and, you know, I don't know. It feels like you have to make some really tough decisions. And and there might be sacrifice involved here that you didn't account for. Um, that's really tough because strength, has an underbelly to it, like all the cards in tarot do, right? You might hear other readers say a light side or a dark side, a high vibration, a low vibration of all the cards. That's always in play. And the underbelly of the strength card is a domineering energy, is an energy that's very controlling, like how the woman has a leash or a chain around the neck of a lion. She looks very gentile, right? She looks very sweet. She looks very, peaceful, and that's fine. But the aspect of putting a wild animal on a chain means to domesticate, means to take away the power of the lion or the natural instincts of the lion, right? This is again is thinking about the underbelly, the quote unquote dark side or the lower vibrational side of strength. So it means to control. It means to dominate. It means to take away personal power of another, right? So I get this sense of some of you are deciding what parts of your personal power you might have to sacrifice in order to see a situation through. You might be living in that reality now. You might be forced to go back to live in a reality similar to that, again, for those where you might have to go back home or, start staying with people or working closely with people who you may not want to work closely with anymore. The alternative to, well, I can't even suppose what the alternative is. But I get the sense that in some of your cases, this person, okay, that's the other thing. Because now they're like switching gears on me. Now it's like, okay, this might be how you, this might be how you perceive this person. And please don't, get all like, no, they're the most horrible person. I'm not here to, try to make you make best friends with someone who's a complete piece of shit. Please know, and please have general logic. I would never advocate for that. But there is another group of Sagittariuses who maybe you had a falling out with this person. Maybe you haven't spoken to your parents in like 6 years, something like that. Or, again, once you moved out when you were 18 or, your early 20s, you just kind of have always been on your own, right? And you have fortified yourself. Thank you. That's a very interesting word. This group of Sagittariuses, may have fortified themselves in a way that makes people think this of you. So okay, thank you. There might be this mutual view of you towards them and them towards you that, if you guys were to speak again, or if you guys were to have to come into contact again, there might be a little bit of a ferocity or a very intense, possibly argumentative energy that needs to be addressed. And that might be so. But the top side, the opposite of the underbelly of the strength card is actually harmonious working together or harmonious relations. Because the maiden, the woman with the chain, if you could read it another way, she's trying to hold the lion back. She's trying to, take its power away. That is the dark side. That's the underbelly. That's that low vibration. High vibration is, let's make a symbiotic relationship. This wild beast who needs to eat massive amounts of meat and be on the hunt and do all this other kind of stuff, right? In her care is well fed. Presumably, right? If she's a great caretaker of this wild animal, right? Insert Tiger King jokes here. That damn Carol Baskins. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, if she's a wonderful caretaker, right? That lion is well fed, well kept. It's given love and affection. And in exchange, the lion possibly gives safety and security to the woman, right? So there's a symbiotic relationship on the high vibrational side of that card. If we're talking about two different entities like there are represented on this card. If we're talking about a person, high vibrational side, that would signal to a person who is protective, who is loving, who is caring, who does have ferocity, but doesn't use it unless absolutely necessary, and might be well, maybe that's not the right word, but well trained to do so, or they've trained themselves. They've learned their own idiosyncrasies and their own trigger points to hold back. You know what I mean? So that's the high vibration, the top side of that energy. There's like 2 or 3 different Sagittariuses, or 2 or 3 different groups of Sagittariuses I'm talking to. Please know which one is you. It's your reality. It's your life. So subjectively, I think you understand. And so you're back here observing something in yourself, something in another person, an opportunity in front of you, whatever it is, that you either look at it and you're skeeved out by it and you're like really sus about it. Like, oh my God, the last time I talked to that person, we had a shouting match. The last time I talked to that person, you know, they threatened me, I threatened them, whatever. Or some of you are like, oh, I miss this person, or I you know, I feel bad that maybe, you know, whatever it is. Some of you are looking at this as an option. You're thinking, okay, maybe. Others of you are looking at it and you're like, okay, never. Others are looking at it and you're like, okay, that's my saving grace. It's going to be different for all of you. But the time is approaching to either step towards the strength energy, whether it's a person, an opportunity, a place, okay, or to walk away from it, or to, you know, do this, like just take it off the table. It's not even here. It's a non-option, right? That's a possibility for some of you. Well, that's kind of the only, well, that is, like I said, it's like you do it or you don't. Make or break, you know? Interesting. So what else happens, please? So you need to talk. Yes. Okay, need to talk. But okay, I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, okay. Thank you. They're like, top. I'm not going to explain what that means to me, but when they said top, I was like, okay, I get it. Now, 8 of Wands. You need to talk. You need to express yourself, or you need to hear someone out, or both things are true. I get the sense that also you got to do it quick, fast, and in a hurry, as my mom used to say growing up. You better do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Anyway, so yeah, you, because of deadlines with contracts, or, you know, eviction notices, what have you, you know, you just really have to do something, say something. And there's an imperative on it. There's like a, what do you call it? Like a rush on it. Like a rush job, or what do you call that? Express mail, notarized mail. I'm getting the sense that some of you are sending messages rapidly, or you have to get something like officially notarized and filed in a certain office, or, you know, you need to have like a receipt on it. Like, as soon as this letter arrives, I need someone to read it and tell me that they've read it, and then send me back their copy, whatever it is. There's a lot of back and forth that I'm getting, which, you know, speaks to rapid communication, or the importance of how important the communication is. Could be email, could be text, could be, you know, video conferences, you know, some of you are really making big major deals back here with the 2 of Pentacles, and you're dealing with sharks in the water, and you need to, you know, lock it down as soon as possible. You know, you might be a part of local or federal government, or any other government in the world. You might be on a committee, or some type of board, or some type of body of professionals who are in charge of distributing certain life-saving apparatus to localities. You know what I mean? So if you're not, if you're dragging your feet on deadlines, or suddenly there's a rush of information, whatever it is, there's just a high imperative with this 8 of Wands. And if it's not high imperative, there is just a lot of impact. Thank you. Where you are discerning, thinking carefully, again, that symbiotic relationship of, you could go in, or someone could go towards you being very ferocious, the energy of the lion, roar, and like, hey, Sagittarius, I hate your guts. And you'd be like, yeah, I hate your guts too. Or it could be super argumentative. But I get the sense that you and or another person is being very careful with how they communicate. It might come fast, it might come suddenly, it might be important and everything like that, but there is a finesse. Thank you. That's another good word for it. There's a finesse that you or someone else is striking in the communication. It's not manipulation, but it is very cognizant. It's very aware of each and every word that is chosen in the construction of the message. Every word spoken has to be the correct word, right? We don't want to make this person or myself angry, this person or myself upset, this person or myself feel attacked, this person or myself feeling as if they are pushed, to make a decision that they don't want to. I get the sense that there is very much an emphasis or focus on the later result based around initial conversation, initial communication. That is starting up, that is wrapping up, whatever it is. That's very interesting. Anything else with that? And I think I started when I picked this card up. I think I said, you need to. And that might be true in some of your cases. In other cases, you might be waiting for this communication. Okay. Some of you might be waiting for a response. Maybe. Like, that's a few of you. Like, you may have initiated a bit of communication through email, through text, what have you, and you haven't heard back from someone. Or you're reminding someone, hey, a deadline is approaching. We need your signature on these forms. And they might be dragging their feet. Because again, it's a general. It can go the other way, Sagittarius. And they might be dragging their feet till 11:59 p.m. on X date. You know what I mean? So the impact is so much more than the form it takes. Like, I want to say the right words, imply the correct message to get XYZ result. Is that manipulation? Maybe, but I'm not feeling it's like deceptive. I'm not feeling deception. I'm feeling like literally how I used to write a lot of my college papers, going and looking up in a thesaurus. What's a better word for this? Okay. Type a few more sentences. I don't like the way that sounds. What's a better phrasing than this? Google some new phrases. Okay, cool. I'm going to plug that into my paper. You know what I mean? So it's like wanting to compose a message or wanting to send a message that is either super professional, it's very heartfelt. That could also be what someone is doing, composing a heartfelt message when maybe they're not normally so good at those things. I know. I'm thinking of one of my friends, and so I'm a blunt person myself, but sidebar here, side anecdote for you, Sagittarius. I'm a very wordy person. I studied English in college. I've always been good with my words. I've always been creative with my language and my writing. And so I'm very blunt, but I'm also able to express things in colorful language and very, creative ways, right? My one friend, not a Sagittarius, is blunt too, but lacks, she's just blunt in a different way. Like, just says things very plainly. And sometimes I'm like shocked and off-put by it. I'm like, what? Why did you say it that way? Or why did you ask that question that way? Or we'll be in a conversation with other people and I'll hear her ask something or say something and I'll turn my head. I'll be like, oh my God. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe some of you are like that, or you're dealing with people who are like this, who aren't necessarily the quote unquote best communicators, because I'm not the best communicator. I think I'm pretty good, but I'm not the best. So there might be an emphasis on making sure this communication comes out as perfectly as possible, right? There is sometimes an air of wanting to get it right, wanting to hit the mark, wanting to hit the bullseye when we see the Eight of Wands, okay? Now, what happens on the bottom? And again, they said top to me, and I was like, okay, I understand. So, yeah. The approach of someone, you or them, the energy put forth is a little naive, is a little rough around the edges, right? So even after painstakingly composing a good email or painstakingly trying to get the terms right in the contract, there might be still a little bit of a soft shelled quality to it. Page of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with one of those signs, but you don't have to be. The Page of Cups is tenderhearted. The Page of Cups is normally very earnest and very honest. Sometimes can be full of apologies and, trying to mend fences, but then kind of stumbling over their own efforts because they're just a page, right? Pages, in terms of the court cards, are the lowest, and after them comes Knight, Queen, King, right? So this is someone who's still learning how to be XYZ, the Page of Cups, right? So this person is still learning how to be as open and honest from an emotional standpoint. This person is still learning how to apologize, but not sound sappy or not sound like they are pleading and begging, right? There's a sense I get from this person, this energy. I want to maintain my dignity. I don't want to look like a schmuck. I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to look like that I'm poor. They said that. I don't want to look like I'm poor. I don't want to look like I'm looking for a handout. I don't want to look like I can't take care of myself. Back to that thing we were talking about with the Two of Pentacles. And the page often represents children of any age, right? Sometimes it speaks specifically to young children, adolescents and whatnot, or even younger children. But I did say for some of you, you have this striking line of independence that I was talking about in the Two of Pentacles. And I said some of you are having to consider going back to your family home to talk to people you are estranged from your past. And doing that has given a lot of you, like I said, the sweats, the anxiety. Some of you are feeling forced to make a decision in that way towards that direction that you don't want to make. And I think you might view yourselves this way, Sagittarius, like this Page of Cups. Going home to mom and dad, going home to whoever, hat in hand. That's funny. There used to be like this commercial, I think it was in the 80s, and I think it was like for Bounty. I think it was Bounty paper towels. And it might have been like this really old song. I think it was sung by like Shirley Temple or something. I'm sorry, so sorry. Like that. Like you don't want to seem like a child who can't take care of themselves. You don't want to be seen as if you are looking for a handout. And the Page of Cups sometimes gives off that energy of being a beggar, of being a romantic beggar, right? Why do I say romantic? Because again, the element or the quality of the cups speaks to water, speaks to sentimentality and our emotions, and leading with the heart, right? You're a fire sign. That stuff can kind of bog you down, make you feel like, emotions. I mean, fire signs are probably more open to it than air signs, but particularly Sagittarius, like again, you kind of have an image to maintain. It's not a shallow thing. It's not a thing where your ego is on the line. It's more of like I legit, you don't like to feel as if you need other people. You don't mind attaching to people. You don't mind making great friendships. You don't mind being social. But the moment someone presumes that you need them, you're kind of like, no. I'm a, what do you call it? I'm a rolling stone. I don't need anybody. And I get the sense that the Page of Cups might be a conflicting energy for some of you, where this is literally about going back to your parents or going back to a significant relationship in your past that makes you feel like a child. It's a time in your life, maybe that's the last time that you lived again with your parents, was when you were a child. Some of you, maybe you left your home when you were 14, 15. Maybe even younger. If you had a incredibly traumatic upbringing, maybe some of you were in the foster system, or you had to be adopted, or whatever it is, right? And so to go back to that person, to that situation, it's off-putting to you. If not off-putting, it's like making you feel like you have no choice. And that's the other thing about Sagittarius is they love choice. They love having the ability to navigate their own path. And like I said, with that Two of Pentacles, there's only two options. You do or you don't. It's A or it's B. There's no C, there's no D, there's no 8.5, 8.2, 8.3, right? It's either one or the other in most of your cases. And that makes you feel really insecure in some type of way. You know, the Page of Cups has lots of great qualities. Often, like I said, very tender-hearted, often very earnest and honest, but is possibly more vulnerable than you or another person might care to be perceived as. There's something here a little bit, yeah, okay, I see. There's pride here. There's ego here. And, you know, just to tie it into the current events, because I've done it with practically every other sign, this time, in my opinion, you know, the universe and spirit and source or God or whatever you believe in or don't believe in has a wonderfully quirky sense of humor. And I'm not trying to make light of what's going on. We are literally in a pandemic. There are literal lives that are being lost. So I'm not trying to make light of it or minimize it. But for those of us where hopefully we're not going to come down with the illness or we're not going to be affected too severely by it, this time, literally 4, 5, 6, 8, maybe even up to 12 weeks, where we are in some ways slowed down, removed from our daily life that we knew before COVID-19. That's the universe's way of saying, check your ego, friends. What is ego? Ego is beyond, oh, I look good, I'm so smart and all that. That's, you know, that's like a very base way of understanding what ego is. Ego is a primal sensation or a primal survival instinct in you. It's also attached to, you know, childhood wounds and all that kind of stuff. So what is possibly going on for some of you is an ego check. You've made a great life for yourself. You've been able to stand on your own 2 feet. You've proven yourself. That's attached to ego if that's what you're thinking about yourself. And again, it's not about, oh, I'm the greatest and I don't need anybody. That's just the surface level of ego. Deep down, if that's your story, Sagittarius, this is just an example, by the way. Others of you will have different stories. That's the surface. Deeper down, what that ego represents is a child who was abandoned, a child who felt they were never good enough for whatever their parents' standards were, right? A child who grew up not understanding the value of possibly love, affection, or never understood the proper value of money. If some of you have gone out and you've made a great name for yourselves, right? Maybe oh my God, that's interesting. This is another possible story. Maybe you are in such good standing, Sagittarius, with that Two of Pentacles, that someone wants to come towards you, right? So you have a great house. You have a wonderful career. Maybe your brother, your parents, your cousin, your own children need to come back to you. Does that make sense? Right? And there's something here about with the Page, with the Two of Pentacles, and this communication. I feel as though there's a chance for you to, quote unquote, check your ego and kind of decide what you want to do going forward. That's heavy work. It's not easy if you haven't been on this journey for a while now. I'm not here to gloat. I'm not here to, you know, throw my experience in there too much, but I've been doing ego work both consciously and unbeknownst to me before I even knew what it was. I've been doing that probably since 2012, maybe 10, maybe earlier, in different ways and different waves and different intensities. But now I'm like so conscious of, I do it like almost every day. I'm trying to do something to figure myself out, right? But some of you, you know, your life is different and your journey is different, undoubtedly. But that's what I feel here. There's this focus on being seen as less than, immature, young, no dignity, not being able to take care of the self, being needy, having your hand out, and you don't like that. Or you might be perceiving someone else that way. here comes so-and-so looking for a handout. You know, what's that? That always signals back to your own ego. So Google it. Ego work, shadow work. They're dark night of the soul is more a specific event, but you could Google all that kind of stuff and look into it and see how it applies to your story. But that's what I'm getting with that Page of Cups. That's very interesting. All these readings are like progressively deep in some type of way. This is fun for me as a reader. Now, what else happens, Sagittarius? Let's get into it. So, yes, work, kind of what I was just saying. Developments, Three of Pentacles. This is normally work with you and another person or another two people. If you look at the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you'll see three people on this card. But in this wonderful deck, you only see one. So kind of what I was just saying, work on yourself. Work on how you view yourself or your circumstances, or if you are ready for it, really get into understanding your own ego and understanding the issues you have that come from childhood. And you can have issues that, by the way, you can have issues that come from childhood that have nothing to do with growing up in a dysfunctional household. Okay? I think like some of you or some people, not just Sagittarius, I just think people in general have a stigma around the phrasing childhood, or look back at your childhood, or, you know, healing your childhood trauma or issues of the past and things like that as being, oh my God, you had to be like, you know, freaking Harry Potter or something, locked up under the stairs, or like flowers in the attic. Oh, that's, you know, those are like the extremes, right? You know, incredible abuse, you know, everything like that. You don't have to have lived that to have things to work on from your past. We all have it, because most of us in this world have been raised by people who have their own unresolved traumatic histories stemming from childhood, and then they went ahead and became parents. No fault of their own. They didn't know. But I think now in this time, we are coming into an age of knowing. God, I'm getting all philosophical out here. We are coming into an age of knowing, Sagittarius, and the way to know or to do better and to how to transcend the past. I feel you have to kind of learn the past. You know, what is the phrase people use? You gotta feel it to heal it. You gotta feel it to heal it. Something like that. But going back to what your energy is, again, Three of Pentacles, a card of work and collaboration. However, there's only one person on this card, this man doing all this work on his own. So you might be doing this in a very solitary way. People might not know about it, or you might think about doing this and you haven't told anyone else. Or possibly some of you are like really stubborn and you know it's going to take your own work, but you don't want to put in that effort. Whatever. It's your choice. You can do what you want. But again, the Pentacles came. This isn't the Three of Wands. It's not the Three of Cups. And it wouldn't be, the Three of Swords is constructive, but in a totally different way. This is the Three of Pentacles. So this is practical steps. So this is doing things with your finances. This is doing things, making choices surrounding where you live or how you live, right? Some of you might have to cut back on certain spending or change your lifestyle in order to maintain a roof over your head. Like some of you, again, may be in a very well-to-do position in terms of job, in terms of personal finances. You know, you're making possibly 6 figures a month, a year, excuse me. If you're making 6 figures a month, I think you're okay. But you might be making 6 figures a year. And maybe you've worked that job that gives you that salary for like 2 years. So you bought a new condo, you got a new car, and then out of nowhere, because of Corona, hey there, thanks a lot, you might have lost that job or been laid off. So now you have this mortgage payment to make and all these bills to pay. Like you got a timeshare you got to cancel because that's a waste of money. You know what I mean? It's just like you may have overspent or overextended yourself, not knowing, because nobody really knew. Although I guess some conspiracy theorists out there think that some people knew this was coming. Well, I'm not going to get into it, but whatever. You may have overextended yourself financially, and you may need to repair things financially, quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't know, when was I saying that before? Oh, because of that would make sense. Because of the Eight of Wands. That's also going around for many people. A lot of people are contacting their loan, the banks for their loans. where they, like I said, with mortgages and utilities companies, like, listen, I know you want the money for the lights. I know you want the money for the heat and the water, but I am not working. Please, God, don't shut off my shit, right? So you may be on the phone texting people, or not texting, but emailing people back and forth. What can we negotiate in terms of my money? What can we negotiate in terms of payment towards you? Because because I can't make those payments. And again, that is definitely going to make someone feel very insecure. If you're going to a big old bank who's got billions and billions of dollars, and you got to tell them, listen, that $1,800 that you want for the mortgage, we can't swing that. Please. It's like any like beggar in a movie. Please, sir, could you spare a little mercy on us, sir? Please don't do this to us, sir. Oh, we'd be real gracious like if you could spare. And I don't know why I'm putting on this English accent, but that's what came to my head. So no offense to anybody, but that's what's going on here. Some of you are having to negotiate terms, contracts, money, payments, this and that, in order to avoid further catastrophe. However, part of you is so prideful, which is, all the fire signs, not just Leos, thank you very much, have ego. All of us. I'm a Leo, in case you didn't know. All fire signs have ego, and every person has ego. This I'm talking about, ego is in pride, not childhood ego. So let me just go ahead and say pride. All of us have pride, right? All of us have issues with patience. There's a lack of patience somewhere in here, or if not patience, there's an upswing in frustration, because you're having to do things and negotiate and talk with people or work with people and ask for a grace period from someone or an entity that you don't want to. You're having to ask possibly favors from someone that you don't want to. I got evicted. Can I come live with you? You don't want to ask that, but you're the only one who can do that work. You're the only one that can make that request. You're the only one that can set up those appointments and meet those deadlines in order to get to a brighter future. Because that's the other thing about the 3s and the 2s. They are all future oriented. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? How can I secure a more solid, more stable future for myself? 3 of Pentacles, the only person on this card. So in many ways, you're very self-focused right now, Sag, and that's fine. That's not a read. That's not a criticism, right? So you might have to make concessions, go towards certain people that you may or may not want to align with, or that you are possibly skeptical or feeling somehow insecure about approaching, with the Page of Cups, insecurely asking people for favors, insecurely, okay, in some cases asking for forgiveness, because that might be like sort of a part of the package, a part of the whole negotiation. Not only do you need a favor, not only do you need a loan, not only do you need forgiveness on something, right? You also then need someone's assistance. It's like, and if it's not you, it's someone coming towards you, and it's just like, someone here is like, I don't want to go down that route, but I'm telling you, it really feels like there is like no other option, which is a rare point in people's lives, but it's a point of growth, probably. That's just a guess, a point of growth. And some of you are like, what the fuck are you talking about? A point of growth? That is the most horrible option I could imagine for myself. That is the absolute last thing that I want to do. That is the absolute last thing I want to happen here. However, like I told you, the universe has a freaking crazy, quirky way of doing things. I need you to grow, Sagittarius. I need you to grow, Gemini. I need you to grow, people on Earth. Here's a pandemic. Enjoy. And we're all like, what? But I'm telling you, that is what this is. This is a growth point for everybody. Not just Sagittarius, not just Jay. Everybody is feeling the crunch, the pinch, the squirm you get when you're sitting on an uncomfortable seat. Oh my God, am I sitting on a tack? Am I sitting on a marble? This hurts. This is not fun for anybody. But the purpose is greater growth. You can believe that or not. It's your choice, but that's my belief. And that's why I think for me personally, I've been able to read a lot of these really shitty or difficult energies that have come across my table the past week or so and feel like, makes sense. Makes sense. Sucks to live through it, but it makes sense. Now, final card in your main spread. I almost said Six of Swords, Six of Wands. Well, so what happens? Or this is reward. This is praise. This is accolades and applause and people cheering, right? You see all those people in the foreground, how they're looking up to that guy on the horse and saying, hey guy, you're doing a good job. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Look at your tunic. It's so beautiful. We love you, right? Praise, recognition, victory, success. I feel that this is the long-term goal. This is what you want. This is what you're moving towards. It feels auspicious. I have to say that. It feels auspicious. But some of you, not all, some of you are not able to connect the dots. And you're probably not supposed to be able to, or you're not ready to, whatever it is. Because some Sagittarius, I feel, what is required to get to the Six of Wands, or what is required to sort of see you on the come up, see things go in your favor a little bit more, you are not yet prepared to do. Hence, way back to the Two of Pentacles, which is what I said, dragging your feet, procrastinating, possibly being anxious, scared, unsure of how to make, not how to make, but what decision to make, right? Waiting till the 11:59 moment to submit to submit an electronic document, to sign on the dotted line. Some of you are really not able to put those pieces together just yet. Others of you are like, okay, I know this is going to suck. I know I have to do things that I don't want to do, talk to people, deal with things, face situations, face things of my past, apologize, all the things we discussed. Some of you are like so aware, yet that's the payoff. The payoff is I'm going to get a reward. I'm going to feel like a success. I'm going to come out on the other end and be in a better position. Right? I'm going to come out on the other end shining. Or I'm going to be in a better position to get there eventually. If it's not like an immediate success, the document is signed and then the next day, hallelujah, you get everything you want. No, this might be way down the line for some of you. And I get the sense that there's a handful, they're like, yeah, I know. And you're, swallowing that pride, knowing you got to take a few hits. You got to take a few losses, take a few small L's in order to get a big W, right? Some are aware of that. And, again, fire sign energy, I understand. What you mean I got to lose to win? That's bullshit. I don't want to do that. But that's the way. A lot of times that's the way. You got to lose to win. And that is a lesson I still personally struggle with. I know it's probably true in many situations. Not all situations require a loss in order to get to a win. No. But, it's tied to so many old adages and so many cliches. You might lose the battle, or I may have lost the battle, but I'm going to win the war, or I won the war, or something like that. You got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Whatever. There's all these ways in which we talk about having to sacrifice, lose, be disappointed to see a bigger, better win in the future. That's what this feels like. This Six of Wands is not around the corner. In most of your cases, is not around the corner. Some of you have been doing this work for a while, and it might be sooner rather than later for that group. But others of you, this is not going to happen overnight. This might be contingent, again, on even just communicating with someone. That Eight of Wands above, yeah, there's something about, maybe that's it. Maybe, oh my God, maybe some of you, and that would be, that would be the way of a Sagittarius. Not all of you, again, this is more of a general thing, but I find a lot of times Sagittariuses take the long way around. take the scenic route. You don't have to. To get to point A to point B, you go up, you take a left, you go up, you take another left, and then you take a right, and then you're there. Some of you will go 2 blocks up, take a right, then go up another 2 blocks, then go over 5 blocks, and then come back down. And then, this long scenic route to get to the same destination where any other sign, well, not any other sign, but some other signs would just take the direct route. Sagittarius has that, I learned through experience. Thank you. I learned through experiencing it. I learned through engaging in this energy firsthand. That's how you guys learn, right? That's how you guys want to experience life. Want to taste life. You want to taste the fruit, right? And that tendency, just as a general marker of your zodiac, not all of you are like this, but just as a general marker of your zodiac, you often go to the school of hard knocks without intending to enroll. I didn't sign up for this, didn't you? And again, I'm not accusing you. That's just, again, the general marker of your zodiac. Signing up for the school of hard knocks. Gonna be top of the class. Not an insult, not a read, not blaming you. But I think if you kind of think of yours, I don't know what you study about your own sign, Sagittarius, but if you study the basics of your quote unquote, your nature, right? The naked or the natural zodiac that is Sagittarius, right? You'll learn a lot. And I think there is a long way to get to success that Sagittariuses sometimes have to go through before they master it. Oh, there's a quicker way? Yeah, there's a quicker way. Okay, I'll do it next time. But in order to learn the quicker way, you had to go the long way first. That might be at play here for some of you. Your outcome, Sag. Oh, boy. Yakety yak. Can't help myself. The outcome is the Tower card. So, here we go. Wake-ups, wake-up calls, epiphanies, shake-ups, and just total crumbling down of known structures. This is at play. This hasn't come out for many other sides. I think it only came out once before. But the energy of the Tower in your outcome card or in your outcome position, I don't want you to be afraid of it. I don't want you to look at this and go, oh my God, no. I mean, some of you might, you can't help yourselves and you know the specifics better than I do, so go ahead. But I need to tell you from a perspective of the person that reads tarot and the person who studies it and the person who has lived through a couple of these, sometimes this is a blessing in disguise. Sometimes this is so subtle, you don't even know you had a Tower moment until 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months down the line. Oh, that was a Tower moment? Oh my God, that was so easy. It didn't even register to me. Like if you think about it, for those who live out in California or any other place that's prone to earthquakes, earthquakes happen all the time in California. I used to live out there. And sometimes they're so quick. They're like, 2 seconds long. You're like, you feel a little shaky. You're like, was that an earthquake? Technically, yes. Asking whoever studies earthquakes, I don't know who studies them, but if you went down to their office and you looked at their instruments, it would say, hey, that was an earthquake. But it was barely noticeable. Other times, the shit is noticeable, and it rocks, and it knocks things off the wall, things off the cabinets, it's a little crazy. And I've only lived through probably like medium ones, never big ones, because I didn't live out there for a long time. But that's what the Tower is. Sometimes you can feel it, hear it. It's just everywhere and you can't escape this impact, right? Other times you didn't even know it happened, but it happened, right? So I don't want you to be put off or looking at this going, God damn, I don't want to do that. I don't want to live through that. I don't want that to happen to me. It may have already happened to you and you don't know it, right? So in general, more to the point of why this has come out in your outcome, things will not be the same after a certain point, right? And again, going back to your Two of Pentacles, I feel many of you are aware. Some of you have like a date circled on your calendar. You have a countdown on your phone. You got 4 days, 16 hours, 18 minutes, and 49 seconds left until this moment, right? Some of you can pinpoint what the Tower moment is or will be in your life. Others of you, it's just, well, for all of you, the point is, after that moment, whether you're aware of it or not, after that event, that loss, that change, that newness, that removal of the old, whatever it is, whatever form it takes, after then, you have a clean and clear foundation. You know, this is a mighty structure, that tower, right? Being blown to bits by that lightning bolt. But after the fire goes away, after the clouds part, and now we can build something new. Now something better can be put in its place. And again, the universe, it's a doozy. It does these things, and in the moment, our ego, not the pride ego, but like the ego attached to, our younger developing years, right? That ego views this as, oh my God, it's the worst thing that happened. A conscious person, I don't care who you are or what your life is like, a conscious person acknowledges, yes, ego, we don't like that. That's uncomfortable. We're upset by this. It's inconvenient. What was I doing when I shuffled the cards in a minute? It hurt me. That hurt me. The tower hurt my thumb when I was shuffling at the beginning. So you might acknowledge, yes, that tower moment has hurt me, but on the other side, it is better. It's not here in the reading, but I'm telling you, that's just the way life goes. Overall energy, Knight of Swords. Here we go. More quick, fast, and in a hurry energy. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this is messages. This is information. This is intention. This is communication. This is change. This is swift change. This is swift action, swift speech. Things develop very quickly when we talk about the Knight of Swords. You could be dealing with an air sign or not at all. I don't know if I mentioned that part. It's wise because they're drawing me to the owl in the trees, right? So the owl in the tree and the light that's on the sword. There's an enlightenment here. Someone has learned something. You or someone else in the situation has learned something. Information, key information, missing information. Someone has had a eureka moment, an epiphany, whatever. And the need to express it is paramount. It needs to happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that's what's overseeing this entire reading. I feel this is kind of the the troublemaker. The biggest troublemaker is this indecision point, or is this point of procrastination. It is this point of giving into anxiety and not. It could be strategic. I'm going to allow that. For those where you have a deadline or a decision is coming up, but you're like putting it off, that might be strategic for some of you. So I don't want to presume that it's not advantageous for some of you to drag your feet. It might be. But for others, you don't have to drag your feet. You could be more proactive, but you're not going to be, and that's fine. So that's your general reading for April, Sagittarius. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Hit that for me. Let me know that you enjoyed yourself here. Maybe you want to leave a comment. Let me know how this resonates in your life. That'd be cool. If you want to share the video, let other people know you like watching my stuff. That'd be amazing. And the most amazing thing of all is, of course, to become a subscriber so that you can be aware of when I upload content here on the channel, okay? Again, guys, if you want a personal reading with me, the information is in the description box below. Also, over on Instagram at EmpathicFire Tarot. Sag, I'll be back with you very soon. Well, maybe not very soon. Soon enough with the mid-April readings. And then after that, we'll do the May reading. So again, if you want to see me for any of that content, please be sure that you subscribe with the notification bell so you can so that you can see when everything is uploaded, okay? Sagittarius, stay safe, my friends. Stay sane, my friends. And good luck out there, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Take care.